Hey everyone, thanks for joining me. Before we begin the practice today, I want to talk just a little bit about pranayama within an asana class. Many of you know asana means the physical postures and movements that we do in a yoga class, and pranayama is breath work or sometimes considered breath control. It's very common these days for people to teach a vinyasa style approach to yoga, which means that and one definition anyway of vinyasa is that you're linking each movement to one breath. So it's becomes somewhat of a breath-centric yoga practice, you might say. A lot of you, I know, have taken my classes many times before, so you have heard me say many times that not only do I want you to link each movement to one breath, but I also want you to stretch the breath so it lasts longer than the movement does. I'd like you to begin breathing before you begin moving. And once you've completed that movement, you're still on that same inhale or exhale, depending on which movement it is, of course. I think it's a great way to really incorporate more, more within a physical practice. And so not only you're stretching and strengthening muscles and improving joint mobility, but you're also working more on more subtle levels like your nervous system and even your mind when you have this kind of breath-centric approach and really, in a way, emphasizing the breath more than anything else in the physical practice. So today, though, we're going to take that to another level. And what I'm going to ask you to do today in some movements and poses is to not only stretch your breath so it lasts longer than the movement, but also add a pause after your inhale and or after your exhale, depending on which movement it is. This is just it takes it to another level of depth because I mentioned it weeks ago in one of these 45-minute gentle classes that there's a strong emphasis when you look at the older text on yoga on the slowing down and eventually stopping of the breath to help slow down and eventually stop the mind from moving. And one really great definition, maybe the main definition of yoga, really is to create a state of consciousness where the mind stops moving. And that's what we're, in a lot of ways, what we're going for in a traditional sense to yoga, in yoga. So yeah, so I'll do that now. I will say this though, if you're newer to yoga and you just have a hard time stretching the breath so it lasts longer than the movement, focus on that first. Make that your priority. Just making the breath last a little bit longer than the movement's associated to. But if you're more experienced and you've been able to do that pretty well for a period of time, then let's go with what I'm talking about here and adding those pauses in those certain positions that I mentioned. Finally, though, if you have any heart conditions or if you're pregnant or if you have high blood pressure, then skip the breath retention part. Just focus on a smooth, slow inhale and exhale. Whew, okay, so let's just begin standing. And we're going to start with just really simple movements. We'll make them a slightly more complex throughout the practice. Nothing crazy, but we're going to start super simple, okay? Come into mountain pose. Close your eyes. Just take a moment here to find your balance, pressing down equally into both feet. Slide your shoulder blades a little closer together in the back so you broaden through the collarbone region. Relax your jaw, but now lightly engage your throat like you're narrowing a valve, which will help you to lengthen the breath as if you're drinking it through a long, thin straw. Of course, breathe through your nose, but now begin to hear the breath move in and out of your throat. So you're beginning to practice ujjayi pranayama. Whenever you exhale, engage your lower abdomen and lift your pelvic floor. Whenever you inhale, allow the low part of your rib cage to expand. And something like a 5-second exhale and a 5-second inhale would be great. All right, now bring your palms together to Anjali Mudra and remember your sankalpa or your intention for the practice. And then I'm going to begin practice with the Gayatri Mantra as I usually do. This is an invocation to the sun being symbolic for divine light. And you're asking for that divine light to guide your intelligence. I'll do it 3 times. If you know it, of course, feel free to join me. Om Bhudra Bhuva Svaha Tatsavitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Naha Prachodayat Om Bhudra Bhuva Svaha Tatsavitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Naha Prachodayat Om Bhudra Bhuva Svaha Tatsavitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Naha Prachodayat Om. All right, great. Now keep your palms together. Go ahead and open your eyes. As you inhale, sweep your arms out to the sides and up. Look up. Keep inhaling until your palms touch overhead. Look to your thumb tips. Then as you exhale, just bring your arms back down. Lower your chin. Keep exhaling until your palms are touching together again in front of the heart. And repeat. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Look up. Keep inhaling until your palms touch. Look to your thumb tips. Exhale, bring your arms back down, lower your chin. Keep exhaling until the palms are together in front of your heart again. Really simple. Let's do that maybe 5 or 6 more times. Inhaling when you bring your arms up. Exhaling when you bring your arms back down. 5 seconds for the inhale. 5 seconds for the exhale or something close to that. Stretch the breath so it lasts a little bit longer than the movement does. So when your palms touch overhead, you're still inhaling. When your palms touch in front of your heart, you're still exhaling. All right, now just add a little breath retention. Sweep your arms up as you inhale. Again, keep inhaling until your palms touch. Once your palms touch and you're done inhaling, pause just for 1 second. Exhale, bring your arms down. Keep exhaling until your palms touch in front of your heart. When you're done exhaling, pause for 1 second. Just a second. Inhale, arms up. 1 second pause. Exhale, arms down. 1 second pause. Try that a few more times. Remember, as I said earlier, first prioritize stretching the breath so it lasts longer than the movement does. Make that your priority. If you're doing that comfortably, then add that 1 second pause after inhale and after exhale. All right. Then this time, once your palms are together in front of your heart, stay there. Take a few breaths. Let's continue with some half salutations. So again, inhale, sweep your arms up, bring your palms to touch. No breath retention now. Just keep inhaling until your palms touch. Now as you exhale, fold forward, bring your palms to the floor. Bend your knees if necessary, so you can get your palms all the way to the floor. Look towards your navel. Now inhale, look forward and extend your spine so it feels like you flatten your back. Exhale, fold a little bit deeper. Look towards your navel. Inhale as you stand up, arms overhead. Keep inhaling until your palms touch. And then exhale as you bring your arms down, palms together. Let's try it again. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Make that sound in your throat. When your palms touch, you're still inhaling. Exhale, bring your palms to the floor. That may require you to bend your knees, look towards your navel, still exhaling once your palms are on the floor. Inhale, look forward and lengthen the area between your sternum and navel. Exhale, fold a little bit deeper, look towards your navel. Inhale, stand up, arms overhead. When your palms touch overhead, you're still inhaling. Exhale, arms down, palms together. Okay, let's try a few more of those now. No breath retention, just making the breath last a little bit longer than these more complex movements. Once you're standing this time, palms together, take a breath or two. We're just going to do a few more half salutes, but now if you're comfortable, adding those breath retentions. Inhale, sweep your arms up. When your palms touch, you're still inhaling, but then pause for a second. Exhale, fold forward. When your palms touch the floor, you're still exhaling. Pause for 1 second. Inhale, look forward, extend your spine. Brief pause. Exhale, fold a little bit deeper. Brief pause. Exhale, stand up, arms overhead. Keep inhaling until your palms touch. Brief pause. And exhale, arms down, palms together. I think you get it. Continue at your own pace. Now, of course, during those pauses, notice how your mind reacts. And if it makes you anxious, skip that part. Still prioritizing the breath lasting longer than the movement does. And the next time you're folding forward, let's stay down in Uttanasana. Stay down. Okay, then from here, step your left foot way back into a runner's lunge and bring your hands to the inside of your right foot. And as you can see here, my right foot's flat on the floor, my right toes are pointing forward. My knee is pretty much stacked over my ankle, and my right thigh's pretty close to parallel to the floor. So try to get in that position, both hands inside your right foot, and just for a moment, breathe freely and make a circular motion with your hips. Moving slowly, just feeling things out in this first lunge. And then reverse it, go the other direction. All right, now bring your left knee to the floor. So we're going to do kind of a twisting movement here. Now, usually you twist on an exhale, but since we're going to do more of an open twist, we're going to kind of switch that around. We're going to turn our shoulders on an inhale. Open twist meaning I'm not using my arm on the outside of my leg to go into a really deep twist. I'm thinking more about getting some rotation in my spine, but really opening up through the chest area. So that in itself will make it a little easier to inhale. Okay, so your right knee is up, your left hand is down. Now reach your right fingertips toward the ceiling and really open your chest. Okay, then as you exhale, bring your right elbow toward the floor inside your right foot. You might not make it all the way down. That's okay. Just do your best. When you inhale, reach your right hand back up. Turn your shoulders and focus on opening your chest and rib cage. And repeat. Exhale, right elbow toward the floor. Inhale, reach your right hand up. Turn your shoulders, open your chest. Just try that a few more times. No breath retention now, just stretching the breath so it lasts a little bit longer than the movement does. Something like a 5-second exhale, 5-second inhale. Right, now this time, keep reaching your right fingertips toward the ceiling. And your choice, you can feel, if it feels better to keep your left knee on the floor, keep your left knee down. If it feels better to lift it off the floor, then lift it off. Either way is great. All right, good. Bring both hands back to the floor. And let's change side just by stepping your left foot forward to the outside of your left hand, and then shooting your right foot back into a lunge. Get it back there. So now your left foot's flat on the floor, left toes are pointing forward, your knee is stacked over your ankle, left thigh's pretty close to parallel to the floor. Make some hip circles here. And then reverse it, go the other direction. All right, now right knee to the floor. Turn your shoulders to the left and reach your left hand up. About 5 times like the first side. Exhalations, now bring your left elbow toward the floor inside your left foot. Inhalations, reach your left hand up, turn your shoulders and open your chest. Now this time, keep your left hand up. Keep breathing smoothly. Right knee can be down or off the floor. Either way is good. Okay, both hands to the floor. And when you're ready now, step back into downward facing dog. So lift your hips up high, press your chest towards your toes, relax your neck. And we'll do a little vinyasa movement here. And from down dog, as you inhale, rock forward to your hands and knees and extend your spine. So like earlier, you move your sternum away from navel and do a little bit of a back bend. And as you exhale, sit back on your heels, untuck your toes into child's pose. Inhale back up to all fours. Extend your spine. And now exhale back to down dog. And repeat. Inhale, all fours. Little bit of a back bend. Exhale the child's pose. Engage your abdomen. Inhale up to all fours. Extend your spine. And exhale to down dog. Just keep moving through this little sequence on your own. Whenever you inhale, you're on all fours and you're extending your spine. When you exhale, alternate between child's pose and down dog. You guessed it, still stretching the breath so it lasts a little bit longer than the movement does. No need to rush, we have plenty of time. By the way, just like the breath has a smoothness to it, make sure the movements have a smoothness as well so they're not choppy or mechanical. And this next time you're in downward facing dog, stay there. And we're going to incorporate those short breath retentions. By the way, in Sanskrit, the word kumbhaka means retention. So inhale to all fours. Make that sound in your throat. Just pause for a second. Now exhale the child's pose. Pause for 1 second. Inhale back up to all fours. Brief pause. Exhale to down dog. One second pause. Continue at your own pace a few more times through the sequence. If it's comfortable, adding those breath retentions just for a second after inhale and after exhale. Really aware of how those breath retentions affect your mental state. Next time you're in downward facing dog, let's stay there again. Let's just meet in downward facing dog. All right, now in down dog, as you exhale, bend your right knee and shift your hips to the right. Inhale back to the center. In this exhale, bend your left knee and shift your hips to the left. Let's try that a couple more times. So whenever you inhale, your hips are in the center. When you exhale, you bend one knee and shift your hips to that side, the side of the bent knee. Once you've gone to both sides an equal number of times, return to the center. Maybe press your thighs back a little bit further. Okay, let's bring one more element into this practice. We'll do a little bandha work. So as long as you're not pregnant, have any heart issues or high blood pressure, at the very end of this exhale, do a brief pause, and just for a second or two. And once you're empty of breath, just draw your navel toward your spine so you hollow out your abdomen for a second or two. Then relax. Inhale and repeat. Exhale completely. Then do what's called the Bahir Kumbhaka or external breath retention. And strong engagement of Uddiyana Bandha, so you draw your navel towards your spine when you're empty of breath, so to speak. Let's try that one more time. All right, good. Let's inhale down to all fours again and cross your ankles. Have a seat and then lie onto your back. Just lie onto your back and draw your knees in toward your chest. Make a circular motion with them so you massage your lower back on the floor. And go the other direction. All right, let's just do a little bridging next. So bring your feet to the floor about hip width and parallel to each other. You reach down and maybe you're able to touch your heels with your fingertips. Okay, now as you inhale, press your feet down, engage your glutes, lift your hips up, and lift your arms overhead. So the very top of your inhale, backs of your hands are on the floor behind you, hips up nice and high, feet really grounded. As you exhale, slowly lower your arms and hips back to the floor. Then repeat, inhale, press your feet down, engage your glutes, lift your hips, lift your arms. When the backs of your hands touch the floor behind you, you're still inhaling. Exhale down. When your palms touch the floor outside your hips, you're still exhaling. Okay, then let's add those little pauses again. So keep exhaling until your palms touch the floor, then add a 1 second pause. Inhale, lift everything up. When the backs of your hands touch the floor, you're still inhaling, but then at the end of inhale, pause again for 1 second. Let's try it a few more times. The next time you exhale, just bring your arms down, but keep your hips up into bridge pose, or what most people call Setu Bandhasana. Now you can let your arms relax if you like. That you can also interlace your fingers and just kind of rock a little bit side to side, so your upper arms move closer together. Keep pressing your feet down. Keep lifting your hips up. Now let's not do any breath retention here. For most people, it's a challenge in itself just to continue with an ujjayi pranayama when you're here in Setu Bandhasana. So make sure you still hear the inhale pass through your throat, as well as the exhale. Five seconds on the way out, 5 seconds on the way in, or something close to that. All right, then when you exhale next, lower your hips down. Just take a moment to relax. And just one more movement and or pose. We'll do some windshield wipers just to help mobilize our hips a bit. Bring your arms out like a T first with your palms facing up. Separate your feet a little bit wider so that if you're on a yoga mat, they're probably the width of your mat now. As you exhale, drop your knees to the left. Both feet stay on the floor. Turn your head to the right and turn your right palm down. And as you inhale, lift your hips back up and look up. Lift your knees back up and look up. Exhale, now drop your knees to the right. Turn your head to the left and turn your left palm down. Inhale everything back to the center. Again, exhale, knees to the left, head to the right, right palm down. Inhale back to the starting position, then exhale, knees to the right, head to the left, and left palm down. Continue at your own pace, but still no need to rush. People tend to go kind of quickly through these. No need to rush. We have plenty of time. 5 seconds for the inhale, 5 seconds for the exhale. It might feel a bit like you're moving in slow motion. That's okay. As I mentioned in previous classes, generally speaking, we really are working on slowing down the momentum in yoga. This next time you drop your knees to the left, keep them there. And if you like, you can also bring your left ankle on top of your right thigh. So your right thigh has a deep internal rotation. But if you do that and it hurts a joint, skip that part. Now let's change things up just a little bit here. Just add a pause at the end of your exhale. So I guess it's kind of like when we were in down dog earlier. Just add like a 1 second pause at the end of exhale. And during that 1 second pause at the end of exhale, place your awareness at your navel. All right. Let's come back to the center. Take a breath there. And change sides. Drop your knees to the right. Turn your head to the left and turn your left palm down. If it feels good, then bring your right ankle on top of your left thigh. So now your left thigh is a deep internal rotation. If it doesn't feel good, don't do it. But add that short pause at the end of exhale. All right. Draw your knees back in toward your chest. And then stretch your legs out to the floor. We're just going to do a really short shavasana. It's a pretty gentle practice, so I don't think we'll need to rest for too long. But do take a minute or two here to completely relax your body. Completely relax your body. Notice the strength and stability of the floor. holding your body weight so you know it's safe to let go. Allow your upper and lower rows of teeth to separate. Feel your tongue widen inside your mouth. Soften your eyes, even release your breath. So now you're not shaping or controlling your breath, not really practicing pranayama, but continue with your pratyahara. Continue drawing your awareness and your senses inward the way a turtle draws its limbs in the shell, so you really notice how it feels to be in the body today at this time. All right, now notice the breath rising and falling through both nostrils. Notice the sensation the breath is creating when it's rising and falling through both nostrils. Chances are you'll notice that one nostril is more open than the other. Just notice if the flow of the breath is stronger through your left or your right nostril. Once you've noticed which nostril does feel more open, draw your knees into your chest and roll to that side. Roll to the side of the dominant nostril and stay on that side using your bottom arm as a pillow for a moment to allow your nostril flow to balance out. All right, now begin to work your way up to seated and into any comfortable seated posture. We'll sit for about 5 minutes. So if you think you need a cushion or blanket or even a chair to sit up nice and tall and your body not be a distraction, take care of that. Get whatever you need. So for this next 5 minutes, your body is not a distraction. Once you're sitting nice and tall with the crown of your head directly over the base of your spine, close your eyes. All right, now I'm going to ask you to do pretty much the opposite of what we've been doing this whole class. Now do not shape or control your breath anymore. So don't make a noise in your throat. Don't try to lengthen your breath. We've done plenty of that. Move your awareness now deeper than your breath and into your brain. Move your awareness into your brain and see it like the surface of a perfectly still lake. See and feel your mind tranquil, like the surface of a perfectly still lake. If a thought arises, see it as a single ripple moving across the lake of the mind, and then see it return to a state of complete tranquility. So you keep returning to the still lake of the mind. All right, now bring your palms together to Anjali Mudra. Take one last moment to enjoy the peace you've created through the practice. And now start to rub your palms together. Create a little heat in your hands. And once you build some heat, rest your hands over your eyes and feel that heat moving in, recharging your senses. Take one last deep breath. And when you're ready, go ahead and slowly open your eyes. All right. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed. I hope the siren sound outside of downtown Chicago didn't filter through to your audio at home. I sure heard some here. Hopefully you did not. Um, I hope you enjoyed class. Remember that this is just this kind of a specific approach. Obviously, there were not a lot of complex movements or postures. It was emphasizing more than ever this idea of a breath-centric practice that hopefully affects your mind in a positive way as much as it affects your body. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope I get to see you soon.